Hello, my friends. How are we? Welcome to Thursday. And for those of you that don't know me or my work, my name's Kerry Waring, and I'm a psychic medium who is passionate about supporting other mediums to be the successful and confident mediums that we all deserve to be. And you'll find from time to time I do pop on my page doing a Facebook Live offering education, insights, understanding of how we can strengthen our connection to spirit, to our soul, and enhance the work that we do. And yesterday, Kristy asked, how do we heal pain? And so this is what today's video is about, is just about sharing my experience with how I've done that in my life, I guess. And firstly, I think it really needs to be acknowledged that suffering emotional pain is really a very personal thing. And each of us will come to healing in our own unique way. And it's not okay for other people to be telling you how you should heal, when you should heal, any of those things. And this is especially relevant when it comes to grief. So if the pain we're talking about is of a grief nature, if you've lost a loved one, that journey is very much unique to you. It's your unique experience. I've often come across clients where their relatives, their partners are all make comments that says things like, geez, you know, aren't you over it yet? Or, you know, just comments like that that are really insensitive. And people do sometimes sit in that thinking, yeah, I should be over it, or it's been long enough. And I can assure you that, hi, Bradley, I can assure you that there is no such thing as time as when it comes to grief. And when it comes to grief, you will find that you will heal, you'll move along, you'll find a new kind of normal, but it is never, ever the same as it was before. And also too, you'll find that as you move through life, there will be times when the loss of your loved one is more prevalent that day than the day before, you know. So I know for me, over the course of nearly 25 years after losing my brother, there are moments. Most of the time these days I just go about life, but there are moments, there are days when I feel that I miss him more, that him not being in my life, it makes me sad more days than other days, that he hasn't in life been part of my children's lives, you know, all of those things. So as you grow and change, it does. So I think the first thing is to accept that you feel how you feel. And this is whether it is grief pain or whether it's being hurt by someone else. I think the biggest thing where the greatest freedom lies is actually acknowledging with great honesty with yourself is how you feel. And now I do that by using my journal. It's not like I have to share it with everyone. And honestly, sometimes I don't even realize what's really going on until I sit with my journal. So I write about how I feel. Like just yesterday I was writing about, okay, I'm freaking out about something, you know. So I think that's the biggest thing, is to just be honest with yourself about how you're feeling and the fact that you are hurting. And two would be to not place expectation on yourself. Don't expect yourself to be feeling a certain way or to be getting over it, or I think the biggest thing, as long as you feel like you're continuing to progress that you're continuing to move forward and that you're not stuck because of it. If you feel stuck, then it's time to reach out. It's time to seek counselling. It's time to, come and have an appointment with me and we can work through it with you. It's time. If you're feeling stuck and that's not shifting and that's not going, then it's time to seek external help. Thirdly, one of the things that I tend to do is, yes, I work with my journal a lot, but I'll also sort of ask my spirit guides, my higher self, whatever is your guidance source, to show me what it is I need to know about myself, what it is I need to learn about myself in this experience. So especially if that experience involves others. So I will ask what it is I'm learning about myself. Show me what I need to know, perceive and understand about myself in this experience. I usually give that a little bit of time. I'll write it in my journal, and just generally you find that spirit sort of you get the epiphany, you get the understanding. And I know that from personal experience that this can be quite freeing and quite allowing you to be lighter and letting go of the emotion. So I know many, many years ago, when I did own my spiritual development centre, which was called the Australian College of Mediumship, part of that experience was I went into that a little naive of people. And I certainly went into that experience needing or wanting to be everyone's best friend, and learning that not everyone comes with the same heart intention, that some people only wanted to be my friend because of what I could do for them, the opportunities I could offer them, not because of who I was, but because of what I could do for them. And oftentimes part of that experience was a lot of judgment directed towards me, a lot of betrayal, and it was really a really painful period in my life, to be honest. What changed all of that? What stopped that from happening? And because what would happen is when I would get someone judging me, I would basically internalize it and really think that there was something wrong with me and that I needed to change me, I'm a bad person type of thing. And anyway, what shifted that, what changed that was very much looking at it going, okay, what am I bringing to this? What am I bringing to this interaction? What am I bringing? And some of that was judgment on my behalf. And when I started judging people less, and started judging myself less, things began to shift and change, and I started to being able to make greater discernments, to be able to see people and use my intuition a great more deal about who to trust, who to open my heart up to, where it felt safe, who to just not get so close to and keep professional boundaries. I learned all of that stuff, and I did need to learn more professional boundaries. I did need to learn to judge less, and I did need to learn to be more perceptive with my trust, and I did need to learn that not everyone has pure heart intentions, that some people, their intention is a little more self-centered. I needed to learn all of that stuff in that journey. So once I sort of started to see and learn that stuff about myself, and what I was bringing that started to shift the experiences. It started to heal my heart. And it's in those moments of epiphany that life begins to change and you feel like you can move on and there's no repeating patterns. So I'm sharing that story to illustrate, I guess, what I'm meaning in asking Spirit to show you what it is you need to know about yourself, what it is you need to learn about yourself. It's in there that we can heal. It's in there that we can create freedom and less of attachment to the pain. So that would be number 3, and ask Spirit to help you with that. Ask your spirit guides, your higher self, to help you with unfolding that. They'll help bring up the unconscious behaviors for you. Lastly, I would recommend a lot of self-care. And self-care starts with loving yourself. It starts with being kind to yourself. It starts with being gentle. It starts with loving yourself enough to have those boundaries if you need to. It's loving yourself enough to say no, or to put your hand up and saying, hey, I'm really hurting right now. I need help. It's loving yourself enough to forgive someone else, to forgive someone else's hurt that they may have caused you. And that doesn't mean you need to accept what their behavior or condone their behavior, but it's a matter of just looking and going, hey, I sort of understand where you were coming from and what was happening, but I love myself enough not to hold on to it anymore. And again, this is where all the journaling can come in. So just to, I guess, re-summarize with the points that I've put forward here. And remember that this is what I'm sharing here is my own personal experience and the stuff that has worked for me. I'm not a trained counsellor. I'm a psychic medium, okay? But a psychic medium who does come from a place of knowing that the relationship we have with ourselves is the core of what we do, is the core of your spiritual connection, the core of your spirituality, and the foundation of your mediumship. There'll never be a more important relationship than the one you have with yourself. So my sharing with you comes from 20 plus years of a self-healing journey. So please know that. And so just to summarize, I suggested if the hurt is centered around grief, that you acknowledge your journey where you are. It's okay to feel how you feel, even if it's such a long time. There are no rules when it comes to moving through the grief journey. To acknowledge and be honest with yourself about how you feel. You should journal if you need to, if it needs to be private. But we really cannot heal unless we are fully aware and honest about our truth. So know that. Don't allow the expectations of others to be put on you, love yourself enough to sort of say, hey, that's what you think, but what I'm feeling is quite different. Ask Spirit to show you what you need to know, understand, perceive about yourself. What are you learning in this experience? That's the be kind to yourself, some self-care, and, love yourself enough to give yourself what you truly need, whether that is space, whether that is professional help, whether that is saying to a friend, hey, I really need a hug, whatever it might be, love yourself enough for that. And just lastly, just returning to the grief journey. Your grief is an expression of how much you love that person you've lost. So I honestly like to look at the grief as an indication of love. It's, you're feeling that pain because you lost someone you love. So it's an expression of love. And if we can look at it that way, it does make it a little easier to walk into each day, let's say, one step at a time. So if we can focus on the fact that it's an expression of love as opposed to, I've lost this person. It's the expression of love that you are expressing, that pain you are expressing, it comes from love. And that's the connection that will be there to help you maintain a connection to your loved ones in the spirit world. So, Kristy, I hope all that information helped. Thank you for asking your question. And by all means, if anyone has any questions or comments they want to share on the thread, by all means, please do. And if you have a similar question you'd like answered by me through a Facebook Live, then let me know and I'll be back with it. So God bless. Have a great day, everyone, and take care.